Thank you for listening to the Down and Distance podcast. I'm your host, Craig. With me is, as I said last week, Alex. I'm going to get his ass handed to him in fantasy by Craig Bunker. How are you?
I'm good. I just have bad luck in that league, dude. In the past 2 weeks, I've had almost 400 points scored against me, but I've put up like 360. So like, I can't really complain because my team's doing well, and I can't control how well the other teams do against me. But
yeah, that sounds like an excuse.
I mean, I'm okay. I got the most points scored in the league. Everything will work itself out.
Most points scored, 1 and 2. Currently not sitting in playoff position. My team killing it.
Hey, we got an extra week this year. It's a long season. Long season.
It was a beautiful week. It was just beautiful. I feel like I never beat you ever. It's so rare for me to beat you in fantasy. It's just such a good feeling. It's a new feeling because usually when you beat me, you'll call me, video call me, and I just got to look at that freaking face with that smirk on it. This is just a good feeling. Hey, do you want to describe your lock screen right now to the players? Maybe hold it up so I can make sure you're currently taking advantage of our bet.
What did you send me one?
You didn't? Yeah, I sent it in our group chat, sir.
Oh, what? When did you send that?
Like, I want to say it was Sunday night.
Oh, I might not have realized that was for me then.
Oh yeah, so you guys excited?
The Justin Tucker one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's pretty good. Well,
yeah.
You know that doesn't hurt my feelings anymore about Cody Parkey.
The double doink doesn't. It's literally the last like hope the Bears have had. The Bears have been terrible since that moment.
That is true. Cody Parkey kind of cursed us.
I don't think it was Cody Parkey. I think, we'll talk about your head coach later, but that right after that offseason, that he had his kickers come in and kick from that spot, like that hash, that distance over and over again. That's the definition of letting the game get to your head.
Well, I will say this. If it wasn't for Cody Parkey, we would have, one, never signed Eddie Pinheiro, who you remember beating the Broncos. And then we also wouldn't have signed Cairo Santos, who's made something like 31 straight field goals, which is a team record and is like the second or third longest active streak, longer than Justin Tucker's, by the way. Don't let the people forget that. He made the record, but he also missed the field goal in that same game.
Yeah, but he's still like, you miss one every kick, doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter most if you have like the longest, like most consecutive made currently. Justin Tucker still has the highest field goal made percentage of all time and the longest field goal. It's not even up for debate. Justin Tucker's the greatest kicker of all time.
You just don't let Cairo Santos
play
5 more years in the league.
Whoa. Let's see. What is Cairo Santos' overall field goal rate?
Bro, I don't know. Yeah, he was okay in Kansas City. He's been very good in Chicago, though. I'd be interested to see what
his overall 83%, 83.1% field goals. His longest field goal is a 55-yarder.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, and then let's just pull up the single greatest football player to ever play the game.
Cairo Santos, he's like a pitcher who doesn't strike out a lot of guys. He's a ground ball pitcher.
90.6%. 90.6%, which is 7.5% higher. And his longest, 11 yards longer at 66, longest of all time. Come on, Justin Tucker is the greatest kicker of all time. Yeah. Super Bowl champion.
I will tell you,
it's not close.
Cairo Santos, as a member of the Chicago Bears, is 34 for 36, about 95%. That's we'll take that.
Okay, how about this other Justin Tucker stat that I absolutely love? Has never missed a field goal in the final drive.
I mean, yeah.
He's
clutch.
That is
and
he's
got a boot for a leg, as we saw last week.
Greatest of all time. All right, it's week 4. Week 3 went well for us.
Yeah.
Pick'em wise, you went 13 of 16. I went 12 of 16. I'm pretty damn happy with that.
Just like fantasy, you put up a big number. You can't be mad at all.
We don't really have any We don't really do anything for our pick 'em. We just pick them. We don't like.
Nah, I just know that that's one thing that I've historically not been great with. So, man,
You want to
13
start
out of
doing? Do you want to
16.
start? Do you want to start putting a wager on these pick'ems?
I just want to see how many
Whoever
I get
has
right.
more has a little $5 for the winner each week.
Bet.
Bet. All right, we're doing that. And then, well, at
And
the end, we'll
then
see.
we can
At the
make
end,
a
we'll
we
see
can make
whoever
a
has the highest.
we can make a caveat that if you get at least 75% of the games right, though, then
It's a wash.
then it's a wash. Because like that 12 to 16, I don't want you to owe money for that. You went off. I just one game that we had different. That's where the difference
I
is.
can't
So,
believe I picked the Giants. I almost always pick Atlanta in close ones. I like Atlanta. I don't know what the hell caused me to pick the Giants. Daniel Jones is not good.
bro, I swear that's how every person is. Like after you put a bet down or after you make a pick 'em, it's
Yeah,
looking
like,
back
what,
afterwards, you're like,
like
how
what,
did I
what was
think
I
that?
thinking?
But in the moment beforehand, you're like, oh, come on, that's a lock.
I don't
But
think that
man,
was a
yeah,
lock.
we both
But once again, they only did
killed
it
it.
because of that field goal. Like Atlanta,
Yeah.
Matt Ryan remembered that he's actually good. All right, well, let's go to these games. Thursday night football, we recorded during it. Carolina beat the smack at Houston. I think we talked about it. I think we saw the game end while we were recording.
Yeah.
So let's just jump to the next game. We've already started talking about it. Let's talk about Chicago at Cleveland. We both picked Cleveland. You go off. Let's hear what you say about this game.
Well, I'm going to start with the positives first because
There were
I am a
positives?
positive person. The defense looked good. They gave up a lot of points because they were on the field for most of that game. But the first two drives, Cleveland got it in Chicago territory, went for it on fourth down, and both times the Bears sacked Baker. One by Khalil Mack, and then one by the resurgence of Robert Quinn. He's got 4 sacks, which is double what he had all of last year.
Yeah.
So with a defense that you finally get the yin to Khalil Mack's yang, you're getting Eddie Goldman back this week, which is going to be huge in stopping the run game. However, Khalil Mack did get hurt. He tried to play it off, but as of today, which is Thursday, he hasn't practiced this week. So hopefully he can get into practice by Friday, but Khalil Mack's one of those guys where if he can just go out there and give you something, you'll take it. I thought Roquan Smith had another great game. Jalen Johnson has been very, very impressive at cornerback. If only we had another good cornerback that we decided to keep, that would make things a lot better. But still, Jalen Johnson's been good. As for the offense, that probably was the worst game plan and execution of said game plan that I've ever seen.
Do you buy into the conspiracy theory that it was so bad because Nagy wants him to look right about starting Andy Dalton?
I mean, I'm not going to deny that because for all we know, it's possible. Like, you have a quarterback, and I'm not an offensive coordinator. I'm not a football guru like Matt Nagy's supposed to be. But if you're thinking, I have a young, athletic, mobile quarterback in his first professional start on the road behind a very underwhelming offensive line.
I would say underwhelming is an understatement. They look bad.
Well, they
signing
okay
39-year-old Jason Peters is not.
Peters has played okay. However, I would not put Jason Peters on an island with Myles Garrett every single time Fields dropped back, which is essentially what they did. And Fields got hit 16 times, got sacked 9 of those times.
He had 0 rollouts.
You have an athletic mobile quarterback and you're not using any of his strength. You're sitting him back in the pocket, trying to make your offense that you want to work with a guy who's just getting hammered back there. I don't understand it. And I mean, the receivers weren't doing great either. They weren't getting separation. And I mean, this isn't all on Nagy. I think Justin Fields didn't play amazing. He had some throws where he had to make a little bit of a quicker decision. He was holding on to the ball. He had some overthrows. But at the same time, man, when you get the ball and you have to worry about getting it out so you don't get hit. It's like, I kind of attribute it to what the Super Bowl looked like, where Patrick Mahomes was just running for his life every single play. So you really couldn't get the offense going. And that's the same thing that happened. So it was tough to watch, especially since, it was one of the most exciting games in the past 3 years, at least beforehand, that Bears fans are ready for. You have your guy that's going to be the savior to the franchise making his first career start, and then it's probably like the worst possible outcome. And he got hurt in the game too, which is just insult to injury. So not great.
He didn't turn the ball over.
That is true. He held on to the football. And
I'd say getting sacked 9 times and not fumbling once. If that's
exactly.
Daniel Jones, he's got 5.
Exactly. So yeah, that's another positive you can pull out of it. Montgomery still looked okay, but just game script didn't allow him to really be fully utilized. It's still that was still week 3. So it's a long season, but man, if that's a game plan you put together for Justin Fields, I don't have any confidence for this current staff, especially with Matt Nagy, to develop Justin Fields at all. Because if you've had like 3 months to develop a game plan for him, and that's what you roll out, it's honestly just flat out embarrassing.
Like, you lose to Detroit, is he gone? Next day.
It depends in what fashion they lose to Detroit. I'll tell you, if it's one of those Bears games where they barely muster like 200 yards of offense, then yeah, he's gone. Even if it's like a shootout, which I don't think it will be, but let's say the Bears put up like 27 points and still end up losing, he still could be fired. I think it's just Nagy has to come out with the best, most creative game plan in his life, because from what the injury report's looking like, Fields is practicing full both days. Dalton's been limited. There was a moment in time where Nick Foles legitimately could start in week 4, and I would have been just terrified. But I think assuming Justin Fields will start again this week, man, you gotta just pull everything out of the bag. If you are this offensive guru that you're supposed to be, which I'm not saying that's him until I see it, pull out everything, do some trick plays, move Fields around, use his athleticism, run some more RPOs, run some read options. But man, if they don't, that I would not want to be Matt Nagy waking up on Monday morning after going 1-3 and losing at home to the Detroit Lions, because after that schedule gets rough.
Yeah.
So,
well, on the flip side, Cleveland is a good team.
Yeah.
They can beat you in a lot of ways. I can't wait to see what happens between Cleveland and Baltimore, because I really think those are the two teams. Nothing against Cincinnati, who I think has impressed me more than any other team from what I was anticipating this year. And then Steelers look bad.
Yeah. I mean, Odell looked great. He's really that more of a vertical weapon than Landry. And there were a couple throws where you just saw Odell knows how to play football. He knows where to go in these zone defenses, and he knows how to get open. So I think Baker figured out that good things happen when you throw it to him. And Kareem Hunt had another good game. I mean, the defense, for being pretty lackluster the first 2 weeks, obviously looked amazing. It wasn't all just the Bears being bad. Like Myles Garrett's that dude. He's the best player on that team by a long shot. And the one that also impressed me was that linebacker, the rookie, Jeremiah Owusu something from Notre Dame.
Right.
He looked really, really good. So, I mean, yeah, Cleveland's a good team. And they showed it, and I think they're still going to be one of the favorites to come out of the AFC.
Well, let's talk about that Cincinnati Pittsburgh game. And I hate admitting I'm wrong. I really hate admitting I'm wrong, but I think I may have to right now. I was really incredibly critical of drafting Chase over linebacker or O-line guy.
Penei Sewell.
I think I might have been wrong. Jamar Chase looks like a freak out there. Like,
I mean, he does, dude. The Bengals are kind of my like hype team this year. Like they're not going to be as bad as they should be. And I mean, everybody out of college said, Justin Jefferson is amazing, but he's not even on Jamar Chase's level.
Yeah.
And man,
I just didn't think he would have the time to get to him. But
that's true.
Joe Burrow has really done well in the pocket. He wasn't sacked against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had like a 30-something game, maybe longer streak of at least one sack in every game. Yeah. And they didn't do it against what I was anticipating to be one of the worst O-lines. So
right. And we saw like the Bears had a lot of success against them, and Minnesota had some success. But
so that is their O-line definitely has struggles, don't get me wrong, but Jamar Chase looks damn impressive.
He's looking good.
On the flip side, the Steelers look terrible. Big Ben particularly looks terrible.
He can't move. I mean, Najee Harris is looking good, and I did say that we were going to see the Najee Harris breakout game, which I don't know if you'd call it that, but he caught 14 balls.
Well, on
19 targets.
You're right. His receiving game was legit. His rushing game was terrible. He rushed 40 yards on 14 times. Terrible. And one of those came on. He got half those 40 yards on one touch. Other than that, so he had 20 yards on 13 carries. That's bad. But you're right. 14 catches, 102 yards. Yeah, and they were without Deontay Johnson, who's coming back this week, and I think he is their best receiver. Juju goes down.
Claypool, I think, went down for
I think Claypool went down at one point too.
Yeah,
but man, Big Ben threw it 58 times, and you can't do that when you've been in the league since 2004.
Yeah,
like this has to be 100%, no without a doubt, Big Ben's last season.
Yeah.
It has to be. Well, we both picked the Steelers. A buddy of mine texted me. He was doing his pick'em, and he said, I'm really feeling a Cincinnati upset. And I was like, damn, you called that one, bro.
Yeah.
You know what game every single person in the entire world called?
What's that?
Cardinals at Jacksonville. Cardinals were up at were losing at halftime 13-7. At one point they were losing, I think, 19-7 or like 19-13 or something. And then they put up 31 points.
Yeah, I mean,
they were losing 19-10. Final score 31-19.
Yeah, that James Conner had a couple nice runs. I think he scored twice.
He did. He had two. Yeah, he's definitely the goal line guy.
Yeah, Kyler was distributing the ball to everybody, and then the defense really stepped up after halftime. So, man, Cardinals. I don't even want to say quietly 3-0, but I feel like they're not getting enough attention for being 3-0 and doing it in a pretty dominant fashion thus far.
Hey, there's 5 teams right now that are 3-0. Cardinals, Rams, Raiders, Broncos, and Panthers. Give me a ranking of best to worst of those 5 teams.
I think you go Rams 1. I would go. See, it's tough to rank. No offense, the Broncos and the Panthers, because they really haven't played anybody good.
Mm-hmm. Right. I'm not taking offense. It's true. But there's no such. Sorry, I've heard that argument a lot the last week. since Broncos
But
hit 3-0.
it's true.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. But also, you know what else is true? It's every game in the NFL is winnable by either team.
Exactly.
And it's not like any of those games were close. It's not like we won close games against bad teams. We pretty much dominantly destroyed all of them.
I'll go Rams. Raiders, Cardinals, Broncos, Panthers.
Okay.
I think the Raiders are actually looking really good, and the defense is looking not god awful.
I'm going to go Rams, Cardinals, number 2, actually. I can't put the Raiders above the Broncos. So Broncos, Raiders, Panthers.
Yeah. And I know that the Raiders probably should be above the Broncos, but
no, they shouldn't.
It's okay. It's like I would rank the Packers above the Bears. I'm not going to kid myself. Deep down, I think that the Raiders are kind of impressing you, but they're
impressing me, but the Broncos are also impressing me.
Right. And we just got to keep in mind, it's not November yet. So we'll see the Raiders, post October 31st, if they can keep this up.
Well,
but yeah, Jacksonville, man, Trevor Lawrence, who
will be fired first, Matt Nagy or Urban Meyer?
It's going to be, it would be Nagy. I think it's unfair to fire. I know Urban Meyer's, said some questionable things and really doesn't have that team going at all, but it is his first 3
He's
games
legitimately
of his NFL career.
Can't believe how bad his team is.
Yeah, I mean, they stink. You traded away Gardner Minshew, and it's like, the curse of Bambino or the Billy Goat curse. It's going to be the curse of Gardner Minshew. They will not win a single game until they get him back, because they've lost how many in a row, excluding the preseason? I think 18.
Yeah, because their last win was week 1 of last year.
Yep.
So
with
16,
Gardner
so 19
Minshew.
now. They're at 19 now.
19.
No, 15, 16. They're at 18. They're at 18.
Yeah. So rough stress. They've lost 7 or 18 games in a row. It's bad, but you got your number 1 pick. He doesn't look very good, but at least you got him.
Okay.
I mean, what he joined Troy Aikman and Peyton Manning as the only quarterbacks to throw multiple interceptions in each of their first 3 starts.
Mm-hmm.
So there's worse people to be in the same company with.
True. Exactly. Yeah. I am not writing off Trevor Lawrence.
No.
Rookie quarterback struggle. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the number 1 overall pick. You're still just as likely to struggle as someone else. But especially when honestly weapons are bad. The run game is not getting going. I think the coaching is suspect. I think who would have thought that hiring a great college coach and a completely different system really of the NFL would have gone bad. Whoever could have thought that happening?
Right.
Well, speaking of, let's just do this as well. So we have 5 teams also who are 0-3. The Giants, the Jets, the Jags, the Lions, and the Colts. Who's the worst of those teams? And who's the best of those teams? Give me the ranking of that. I think
Number
Detroit is the best of those.
Yeah,
5.
yeah. Number 1 is Detroit, because they've showed at least fight in every game. They should have beaten Baltimore, and we're close to beating the Niners.
And then I'm going to go Colts. I don't think the Colts are terrible. I think they're struggling, but the other 3 teams I think are atrocious.
Yeah, I think you go. Yeah, Lions, Colts, and then everybody else.
Yeah, Giants, Lions, Jets, Jags.
Colts, Lions, Colts, the state of New York, and then Jags.
Yeah, they're both bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we both picked Arizona. How about this game? LA Chargers versus Kansas City. Oh, we both picked the Chargers, and the Chargers win 30-24. And I'd like to just right now say this. The Chiefs are the last team in the AFC West. The Denver Broncos have 2 more wins than the Chiefs right now. This is beautiful.
That's true. I know it. I mean, you probably won't see this very much in the next couple of years, where the Chiefs are at the bottom of the division. But man, the Chiefs are they're turning the ball over. The offense just doesn't look as good as it has been in the past. And the
The
thing
no
that
look
scares
pass
me,
came back to bite
well,
him in the butt this week.
to be fair, he hit the dude in the chest and he just straight up dropped it on
Don't
the
care.
no look pass.
That's a bummer.
What's pick's a pick. However, I'm just thinking right now, if Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill gets hurt, the Chiefs are screwed.
They're out. I mean, we saw they did not get Tyreek Hill going these last 2 weeks at all.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelsey's going to do his thing because Kelsey's still pretty much uncoverable.
And I
just
don't think
because of how well he knows zones and his route running. But
I've been watching Travis Kelce torch the Broncos pretty much since he entered the league. And I really don't think he's probably not missed like many games. He is not a guy who gets hurt.
No. And I think it's a lot easier to take away Tyreek Hill. And I think teams will take away Tyreek Hill because Travis Kelce really doesn't have that one big play ability.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Tyreek Hill's the best at that in the league. But yeah, they've just been struggling and the defense cannot stop a single soul. But on the flip side, man, the Chargers, you say what you want about Brandon Staley, he's got a pair of cojones, man. To go for it on what, like fourth and
9.
Well, it was 4th and 4, and then they got a false
penalty.
start.
Still goes for it
and got it. I will say that decision, much to the chagrin of your fantasy team, throwing it to Mike Williams on 1st and goal with 30 seconds left, and the Chiefs have one timeout, was stupid.
Yeah, I'd say
because
so. You got to give him right. We saw what happened in the Packers game this week as well.
So exactly. Yeah. And I put Mahomes in that category of don't give this guy the ball
anytime.
But
you gotta make it like a final play thing.
But it worked out, and the Chargers offense looks legit because Mike Williams is finally getting consistent targets, and he's shown bursts his whole career of you just got to give the guy a chance, and he will go up and get those balls.
Mike Williams is the type
Allen,
of running back or type of wide receiver that Dalvin Cook is a running back. If he's healthy, he is top 5.
Yeah. Plus, you got Keenan Allen on the other side, who still is amazing week in, week out. And then Austin Eckler's looked really good too. The more they get him involved in the passing game, the better things look.
They're doing a bit more. They're doing a bit more committee than I anticipated at running back. Yeah. But yeah, Austin Eckler is still showing he's the dominant.
Yeah, and he's getting all the goal line touches too, which is great for every one of my fantasy teams because I own him in every league. And yeah, like I said, Jared Cook's looking pretty good. I've drafted the Colorado legend in every league. But yeah, the whole offense is looking good. Derwin James is looking legit week in and week out. Don't think he'll win comeback player of the year like I hoped him to do, but he's just an impact player. He's everywhere on that field. So Chargers,
sorry, you know who's winning comeback player of the year?
Who's that?
Von Miller, 4 sacks, looking good.
I'll talk about that when we get to the Broncos. I have to say something about Vaughn when we get to the Broncos game. It's not a bad.
Don't you dare hate on Vaughn. I will hang up right
I'm not going to hate on Vaughn. I'm just going to hate on the award he was given.
Should Kansas City panic?
No, it's week 3. I think if it keeps going like this, you should panic because you can kind of see a little bit of the cracks in the foundation. But they have a lot of turnovers. Clyde keeps fumbling. Like that Mahomes pick, he did hit the dude right in the chest. So it wasn't like he forced the ball like he did against Baltimore. But the Chiefs are still fine. Once Tyreek gets it going again, they'll be good. And I think, like I predicted, they were going to lose that game, get pissed off, and then go on a tear. But it's a little bit worrisome. I will say that.
Okay. Indianapolis at Tennessee. Now, Indianapolis, like I said, 0-3. I think they do need to panic. And right now, Tennessee is pretty clearly going to win this division. I'd say it's almost foregone conclusion that Tennessee wins this division. You have the tiebreak. You have at least parts of the tiebreaker, depending on how the second game goes, against the only team that I think had a chance to challenge you. Because let's be real here, it's not going to be the Texans or the Jags.
No.
And Carson Wentz hasn't been terrible. He just hasn't. I don't know. Colts are a weird team this year, man. They're not bad. They just can't figure this stuff out. Like, they played well against the Seahawks.
Played well against the Rams for the most part.
They played well. Yeah, they played fine against the Rams. But
yeah,
they're not being able to put it all together. And I don't really know what the huge flaw is. And now I don't know the current standard, but I know that Quentin Nelson went down at one point. So
I will say about the Titans, I think you could probably agree. Week 1 was just a fluke. This offense is good.
Yeah. I absolutely do agree. 100%. Derrick Henry is getting hot really early, which he usually doesn't do. But if he can maintain it, he's unstoppable.
Something we haven't seen from him, he is getting a lot more involved in the passing game. He's catching a lot of those little check down routes and just making something happen with them, which he really hasn't done the past couple of years. I love.
Is there a case to worry that AJ Brown is hurt?
I mean, him and Julio are both hurt with hamstring injuries, which
I think Julio's on track to play this week, though. And I don't think AJ Brown is. I don't know.
I mean, neither of them have practiced this week, so we'll have to see. But if they can get that offense healthy and going, we've seen it's a tough one to stop. But yeah, like you said, it's the Titans' division to lose. And I think they should win it. Even if they don't go off and win 11, 12, 13 games, I think they'll still have a pretty comfortable lead.
Well, and they have to, I mean, if you win your division, you're guaranteed at least the top 4 seed.
Right.
Which I hate that rule, but it's the rule. And so if you need to rest AJ Brown or Julio Jones for a little bit, knowing that, look, this division sucks, go right ahead. You can lose a game here and there and still be fine. Someone in your division has to make the playoffs, and it's certainly not going to be 2 of the teams.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the next 2 games, Jets, Jaguars.
Yeah.
So Tennessee's. They can get, and then they play Buffalo and Kansas City.
Tennessee can rest AJ Brown and Julio Jones these next 2 weeks and probably be just fine.
Yeah. Josh Reynolds show then. I'd be hyped for that.
Josh Reynolds, I think, is a great receiver. Okay. Atlanta, the New York Giants. Atlanta gets their first win. A battle of 0-2 teams. Matt Ryan, not bad. 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And the problem with the Falcons, and I thought Mike Davis was going to be better. He looks bad.
It's Cordero Patterson, man. He's looked pretty damn good this year.
He's looked good, mostly in the rushing game or in the passing game on those. Like, they're getting him the ball enough, but their run game, their just overall rush game is not good.
Right, which is weird considering their head coach was the offensive coordinator in Tennessee.
I think he was expecting he could get more out of Mike Davis, and he just can't. Yeah,
but I mean, boring game. Somebody had to win it, like we said.
I don't think. As I was watching Red Zone, I probably barely saw any of this game. You picked Atlanta. I picked New York. Good job.
Thank you.
Oh boy! Now Baltimore at Detroit. We both picked Baltimore. Baltimore could very easily be 0-3.
Yeah.
Like they lost. They've been close in every single game. The Baltimore game against the Vegas went to overtime. The only reason they won week 2 was a fluke fumble, basically. Like, a dude was very, and then you had to kick the longest field goal in the history of the league in order to win this game. So Ravens could potentially be an 0-3 team.
Yeah, why isn't that the storyline? Like, Justin Tucker made the NFL record kick, but it should be Justin Tucker had to make an NFL record kick to beat the Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm.
But
did you see Tucker in the post game? He said he might, because the last time he played, Detroit was like
Mhm.
8 years ago or whatever, one of his first years in the league. And that was when he kicked his, at the time, longest field goal he'd ever kicked, 61-yard game-winning field goal.
Yep.
And he said in his post game he might buy a house here. Love it. God,
Yeah.
he was sorry. He's the greatest. I'm sure there's other things to say about this game, and I don't care. He's the greatest of all time.
I will say that Baltimore should have probably won by more. Hollywood Brown dropped 2 touchdowns
Oh,
on the
boy.
same drive.
So bad.
But I think something that will be better, they're getting Rashad Bateman back this week.
Mhm.
He's been practicing. And I mean, you and I both thought he was going to be a stud wherever he went out of the draft. So I'm excited to see this kid's talent, which you just give Lamar Jackson another weapon.
It's
Only good things
unfortunate
will
he's
come of
coming
that.
out against the best secondary in the league.
It'll be a good test, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see, but I think getting Bateman's gonna give this offense a much needed boost.
Yeah, because ultimately I've been disappointed in Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, I mean he's had good games, but I mean
not number one receiver games, I think.
No.
As for Detroit, I love how hard they play.
They fight.
Love it. They fight.
Dan
They
Campbell,
are a
man.
fighter. They're going to get wins in this year. They're not going to be a good team. They're not going to be a dominant team, but they're going to get wins, and they're going to keep it. They're going to keep themselves in every game.
Yeah,
And
they're going to give themselves a chance. I don't know how much that will translate into wins because they still are not a good football team.
Right.
But they're going to battle.
They are going to battle.
And NFL,
any given Sunday, you can come away with a win.
Yep.
Like hell, they almost did it.
Yeah.
Against a very good team. Okay. New Orleans at New England. We both picked New England. I guess we were down on Jameis following his performance last time. They're just not letting Jameis do much though. His yarding passage, like even in wins, it's just not much. They're very much riding Kamara.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't think I watched a snap of this game, but
I don't think I did either.
I mean, good for New Orleans.
Mac Jones,
got a good win on the road.
They had Mac Jones throw it 51 times.
Nah, that's not a success. Oh,
No.
I will say one note about that game. James White
hurt out for the season. That's brutal.
That's
he was who I got in all my leagues after Gus Edwards went out. So
yeah.
It's
oh yeah, what was that trade? Didn't you just trade for James White too?
No, I haven't traded for him. Look, I tried to trade him away. I tried to trade him.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, because I remember there was a trade involving him that you were sending me.
Yeah, I tried to trade him to someone. Or maybe someone tried to trade for him and I denied it. Dang, I'm an idiot. Oh, whatever.
Decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing else to say on this one. Buffalo, Washington. Man, I picked Washington plus 7.5, thinking their defense was better, and they look flat.
Yeah, I disappointed myself for calling that a trap game. It was not. Buffalo, after that week 1 loss, they're on a mission, and I mean, Josh Allen's looking good again. Josh
Allen, yeah, this is what I was anticipating. Just needed to kind of get some of the rust off from the offseason, and he's fine. And you know who he really, really loves?
I was about to say he made a new friend this week.
Him and Emmanuel Sanders, man, some sort of connection here. 2 touchdowns for the dude and almost 100 yards off 5 catches.
Yeah, it's crazy that Diggs is the odd man out last week, where Beasley had a really good game too, and
Diggs still did well. Diggs still actually had 6 catches, but
I mean, yeah,
and 10 targets.
You're buying into that offense. The offense was going off.
That's a legit trio of Beasley, Sanders, Diggs.
Oh yeah, and then you still have Gabe Davis as the number 4. He will randomly have a good game. But yeah, they looked impressive. Washington. It's just going to be tough to evaluate them with Heineke at the helm. But
do you know who had who didn't miss a single pass in that game?
Who?
Mitchell Trubisky went 1 for 1 for 1 yard.
Hell yeah, baby. I love it. We need the Bills to be really good or really bad so Mitch can get on the field.
How about New York Jets at Denver? I got to say, look, you can say that the Denver Broncos they've beat 3 terrible teams who we just ranked as the 3 worst teams in the NFL. I get that. They're 0-9. I don't care what it is. Making a team not score any points in a game is difficult.
It's
Shutting out a
man.
team is hard.
Yeah.
And you know how many touchdowns have been scored by teams not the Broncos these first 3 games?
1 maybe.
No, total of the 3 teams combined, how many touchdowns? They've scored 4 touchdowns. But I want to say one of them was a punt return. So that's not on the offense or the defense. It's not on the defense at all. And one of them was in the very final second of the Giants game when they didn't even kick the extra point because time had expired. So really, this Broncos defense has allowed 2 touchdowns, both early on in the game. One was the Jags' first drive. They figured stuff out after that. Look, this Denver defense is beastly. This offense doesn't have to do much. And you know what? The Denver offense has had time of possession in these first 3 games longer than, if you add up the time possession of the first 3 games, they've had it longer than all 32 teams. They just hold on to the ball. Teddy Bridgewater, 0 turnovers.
Yeah.
And they would have had another touchdown this week. Javonte Williams fumbled at the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
Like the 3. So like on first and goal, I think maybe 3-yard line. Denver Broncos, I get it. Bad teams they've beat. This is the number 1 test.
Yeah. First real test, I'd say.
This is the first real test for this team. And I think to count the Broncos out is wrong because look, Rams, like I just said, Ravens could have been 0-3 as well right now.
Yeah. I think the thing that I am impressed with the Broncos is that they just play a style of football that's going to keep them in all these games. The defense, obviously, one of the top units in the league. They've played like the best unit in the league so far. And then the offense, like you said, Teddy's going to take care of the football, not give it up, and they're going to
grind it out drives. Long drive. Teddy doesn't care if they put up 40 points and he throws has a bunch of deep shots down the field. He wants to drive to continue, and he wants to come away with something, and that's what they do, and he doesn't turn it over.
Okay, $1 million question. Do you regret everything that you said in that rant about Teddy Bridgewater?
No.
Earlier.
Because I also made it very clear in that rant that in these first 3 games, I don't care if you started Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater, all 3 of these games should be easy wins.
True.
And they were. Every win came easy. This is where the real test starts. If say a few weeks down the road, I'd say week 6 is now the big test. The Ravens' big test as well. Then you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I think have been unimpressive, but still a good team. But week 6 against divisional opponent, Raiders, that is the test.
And then you got Cleveland on a short week.
Yeah, then you got Cleveland on a short week. So these next 4 weeks will be telling. I'd say, look, they could go 1-3. They could go 0-4. I don't think they go 0-4 these next 4 weeks. I think this defense is too good for that. But they could.
They win 2 games, man. They win 2 out of these next 4. If
they win 2 out of the next 4, I'm happy. And you put us at 5-2, I'm ecstatic.
Oh yeah, easily.
We'll see what happens. If we go 3-1 in these next 4 games, it's going to be tough. If we go 3-1, I'll say I was wrong on my rant.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah, it's like I said, it's tough to evaluate the Broncos because of who they play. No fault to their own.
Yeah, you don't pick your schedule.
No.
Can't be mad at a team for beating teams that they should beat. At least you're not losing to these teams.
Exactly. They're 3-0, and that's all that matters.
And after a team that prior to this year under Vic Fangio had never won a game in September.
Right, to go undefeated. That's nice.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. Next up, Miami, Vegas. Vegas looks good.
Yeah, they find ways to win, and Derek Carr is airing that thing out.
This should not have been an overtime game. I think I had to go somewhere midway through it, and so I didn't see it go to overtime. I was shocked because at one point I think the Raiders were killing them.
Yeah, they were.
This Miami, I don't know how to feel about Miami. They're struggling. They should be better. I think Jacoby Brissett's a good quarterback. I really do. I don't think he's elite. I don't think he's bad. He's right in the middle. I'd rather have him say than like a Taylor Heineke or who are some other average quarterbacks like who aren't like these young rookies. Who else would I throw into that mix?
I don't even know.
Like he's a middling core. He's not bad. He's not great.
Yeah.
He's fine. A Carson Wentz type almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But that defense does not look nearly as elite as they did last year.
No.
How about this game? We both called it. Tampa Bay at the Rams. Rams are legit.
Oh, yeah.
Have you bought in to Matthew Stafford MVP yet?
Well, I've never not been on the train. I think he's a good bet. I mean, if he keeps this up, which it doesn't look like there's any signs of him to not do that, you got a good shot, especially if they win 13, 14 games and get the number 1 seed. I think it's going to be his trophy.
I'd say there's 2 people who are right now the top contenders for MVP.
He's playing one next week.
And this week it's him and Kyler Murray, and this week it's their matchup.
Yeah.
So I think this is the front runner MVP matchup right now. I can't wait to see it. Divisional games matter, man. It's going to be a close
in this
one.
division.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Seahawks here in a minute, but like you cannot be losing games to non-divisional opponents.
Yeah.
Okay. Tampa Bay, I don't think need to freak out. They were without Antonio Brown, who really looks good. But like Tom Brady threw 432 yards in 55 attempts.
Yeah.
The dude is 43 or 44.
Mm-hmm.
It's unreal. It is unreal. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not worried about him. I forget who told me this, but it's kind of like the Rams almost played too well.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Brady knows this game doesn't matter. Of course, this is probably going to be the 2 best teams in the NFC, but really this game doesn't matter. Brady knows he's going to play him again.
Week 3, non-divisional matchup.
Yeah.
It's early. It's whatever.
He's thinking about next week.
Right. On the road. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's thinking about this week now, for sure.
Yeah.
How about Seattle at Minnesota? Minnesota beats Seattle. And this is what I'm saying. Seattle is you cannot afford, if you are Seattle, to fall behind in this division. You're 1-2.
Yeah.
And you got 2 3-0 teams in your division. You can't afford. This is not like the Chiefs being 1-2 in a division, which yes, the Broncos and Raiders are undefeated, but Broncos and Raiders are clearly not as good as the Cardinals or the Rams. So you can't afford this. Plus, your third team in your division is really good as well. The West is just the best. AFC and NFC West, they're just the 2 best divisions.
Probably.
It's a hands down. Okay. Minnesota, they look fine.
Yeah, they look good. I mean, Madison is just Dalvin Cook's replica. They used him the exact same way Dalvin did. And
they got the exact same production.
Thielen's a touchdown machine. Jefferson's look good.
Kirk Cousins has looked really, really good.
I mean, yeah, he's playing when the sun's still out. So, of course.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't played in primetime yet, but still, Kirk Cousins has been impressive. Even in some of these, in these losses. They're 1-2 as well. But Kirk Cousins has 3 touchdowns, I think, in all of them. At least this week he had 3. Last week he had 3. In week 1 he had 2. But he has 0 interceptions. So he has 8 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Good stat guy.
Yeah. And their games have been close. They lost to the Bengals in overtime, and they lost by 1 to the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. So the Vikings can be a sneaky good team. Don't count them out. I know you want to count them out because you always count them out. But
it's the same thing every year. The Vikings should win 10 games, but they win 7. Yeah. Not every year.
Except when they have Case Keenum, the real goat.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sunday Night Football, Green Bay at San Francisco. You can't.
When will
give
people
Aaron.
learn you do not give Aaron Rodgers the ball back ever with any time on the clock, especially playing pretty much in his hometown? You don't do that.
Feel like what if you have to give some time back? What is the absolute most you should? 19 seconds. I think like 19.
No, that's too much.
That's too much too.
Under 10.
No, but remember they had 0 timeouts.
Exactly. And they still went down the field in less than 30 seconds. So you give them
they
less
spiked
than
it with
10.
like 1 second left. I think like 20 seconds, 0 timeouts. That's about the best you can do.
Craig, I've seen too many Aaron Rodgers games.
You leave them with 1 timeout, and you can't give them any time.
No. I've seen that story way too many times. And there's all these memes. There was, I think it was from when they played the Cowboys in the playoffs, probably 4 years ago when it was in Dallas. You remember that game?
Yes.
And it was like the Cowboys scored like a go-ahead touchdown. And it's this Snapchat
from
the Packers fan. And he's like, they're smiling, but there's still 1:17 left.
Yeah, I love that. This is
Who says it? I think Stephen A. Smith says it, but Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. And when it's literally, where they were going. 2 plays, 2 passes, both to Devontae Adams, Mason Crosby field goal.
Week 1, clearly a fluke. Like we said about Tennessee, clearly a fluke.
This offense is too good to be that bad. They have too many weapons, and you have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. It's impossible for them to be that bad.
18 targets.
And he probably should have had more. He got good.
12, 130. It's insane.
He's a beast. The offense is good. The defense still can't stop anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But that's usually how the Packers go. Their defense kicks it on at the end of the year.
Meanwhile, 49ers don't look bad either. This was going to be a tough game.
I just want them to be healthy, man. They just can't stay healthy.
Yeah. This was really kind of the good coming out game for George Kittle.
Yeah.
Almost he had a pretty good stat line. And Brandon Ayuk may be out of the doghouse.
Got a touchdown, saw more than 1 target.
Yeah, he saw 6 targets. Yeah, that's good. Running the ball, man. They just got to be healthy on that thing.
Yeah.
And then Monday Night Football, Philly, Dallas smoked Philly.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to watch this game, but I don't think I missed too much. Dallas looked like the better team.
Yeah,
easily.
And now you got to start asking the questions about Jalen Hurts. Like, he's not a Lamar Jackson. He's not a Kyler Murray.
He did have probably the best quote of the season so far, though. They asked him about this game, and he said, "Well, you take a deuce in the toilet, you don't look at it, you just flush it away. That's what we're gonna do with this game." Which I love that quote. That is applicable to all walks of life.
You don't look at your dude. That's how you gotta see if you're healthy, man. You gotta see how that looks, see if you're healthy.
Nah. You take a deuce, you forget about it, flush it down the toilet. And I think for a second-year player, that's, it's a funny quote, but it does show a level of maturity. Like, we're just going to move on.
Yeah.
Not dwell on it. So
weird. Just talking about poop is a level of maturity.
I think Khalil Mack had a quote about a dog pooping last year. I'm going to look that up while we keep talking.
Well, that's pretty much this week. You got 13 out of 16. That's damn impressive. I got 12 out of 16. This week, tonight, it's Thursday night. In about 40 minutes or so, Jacksonville, Cincinnati will kick off. And until I'm proven otherwise, I'm most certainly taking Cincinnati. Let's see what are they looking at? We've got for the spread.
They are
7.5 point favorites at home. They're playing well. I'm just going to put some money on this right now. I'm not making it one of my bets. I probably could, but I'm not.
I agree. I'm taking Cincinnati. Jacksonville's got to show me something before I can trust in them. And if they don't have Gardner Minshew, I don't think I'll ever be able to trust them. So Give me Cincinnati. They're also kind of my sweetheart team this year, as I've been pretty vocal about. How many games did I pick them to win? I think I picked like at least 7 or 8.
Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I
I
can
swear I
look
did.
back on it. I'll find that.
I knew I was higher on them than almost everybody else, but yeah, I think the Bengals win this game. I think this could be a game where you can see Joe Mixon really break out. I think Jamar Chase could have another great game. But
Who do you
yeah.
think is going to score the first touchdown?
I think Jacksonville's going to get the ball, and I think Marvin Jones is going to catch a touchdown.
Okay, because there's the DraftKings has their playoff or their primetime prop first TD insurance. So if they score a touchdown anytime, you get your money back. I'm gonna go
Joe Mixon wouldn't be a bad one.
Joe Mixon. He has the best odds.
Jamar
I'm going
Chase.
Jamar Chase. I'm going Jamar Chase.
Do it.
I'm throwing
Do it.
money on Jamar Chase. First touchdown. We'll see what happens. Okay. Are you taking Cincinnati, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Sunday, slate starts at 11 a.m. Mountain Time with Cleveland at Minnesota.
This could be a pretty close game, but I'm still going to go with Cleveland. I just think they're the better overall team here.
I'm taking Minnesota. I like him at home. Taking Minnesota. Haven't thought about this game, actually. I didn't really put any thought into this game. Didn't even think about it. I'm taking Minnesota. It feels good. Kansas City at Philly.
Kansas City.
Same. Yeah, Kansas
Easily.
City. They're coming back. Yeah. When was the last time? I don't think Patrick Mahomes has ever lost 3 games in a row.
Not as a starter.
I highly doubt Andy Reid loses 3 games in a row very often.
Mm-hmm.
And after what Philly did against Dallas, don't have a lot of confidence in them. Indianapolis at Miami.
That's a gross game.
Yeah.
I am going with the Dolphins, though. Jacoby Brissett revenge game. He is going to take it to his former team, and I think that the Dolphins will win. They've been close. They were close last week, and I think Will Fuller has a couple deep catches that puts him over the top. I think this total should be about 30 points, though. It's 42. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go Indy. I'm feeling it. Let's go, Indy. I think you can do it. You're right, gross game. Terrible matchup. Like, don't care whatsoever about this game. Oh, another game I don't really care about. New York Giants at New Orleans. I'll take New Orleans.
Same here. Are they playing in New Orleans yet?
Yes, they are. This is the first game back in the Superdome.
Oh, then easily New Orleans. That stadium's going to be buzzing, man. Absolutely buzzing.
So I don't have your predictions, our preseason predictions. I only have mine for. I guess I didn't write yours down.
I know I picked them to get 7 though.
I had Cincy going 3-14, so that's yeah, good for them. Good.
They're almost going to match that total tonight if they win.
Yeah. Detroit at Chicago. Give me Detroit, baby.
I know Detroit's going to win this game. I'm still going to go with the Bears, though. I think
Bears are favored.
I know this is going to be the last time they're favored all year, but I think it's not going to be the offense. I think the defense has quietly been playing very, very, very good football. And I think Jared Goff does not like playing against the Bears.
Exactly. That is the one reason I almost thought about Chicago is I know firsthand how bad Jared Goff is against the Bears. I have memories of Jared Goff being bad against the Bears. So
plus, man, who have the Lions played? They play what? Green Bay, Baltimore, and San Francisco.
Yeah.
Penei Sewell, man. Here comes Khalil Mack. Here you go, rookie. Have fun with that.
If Khalil Mack plays.
Yeah. Or Robert Quinn, who's been playing well this year too. And I think Eddie Goldman, he practiced in full today, and he is their run stuffing defensive tackle. Mm-hmm. So you finally get him and Hicks. I think it's going to be the Detroit offense. It really is going through DeAndre Swift. So I think if you can help Eddie Goldman neutralize that threat. You just zero in on TJ Hawkinson. I think it'll be a low scoring game, but Bill Lazor's going to make the game plan. I think he's going to call the plays, and I think it's going to be a
good.
drastically better offense.
You better hope
Even
so.
though somebody asked Matt Nagy about the play calling, obviously, and his answer was something like, we've had a lot of great conversations, and we're just going to keep that internal right now. So in other words, he's given up the play calling.
In other words, like, if I don't give this up, I'm gonna be fired before this game.
Yep.
Carolina 3-0 is going up against Dallas. This is a real test for Carolina.
Nah, bro, we them boys. Cowboys to the Super Bowl.
I'm taking Dallas as well.
They're not. But I mean, they're looking by far like the best team in that division. And I think the Cowboys have played really well all year. Zeke looked good.
Zeke finally looked great. So yeah. The largest point spread of the week, I believe, Houston at Buffalo. I think Buffalo's -17. I'm taking
It'll be the largest one of the year. Yeah, I'm going Buffalo too. You have to take them.
Yeah, absolutely. How about Tennessee at the Jets?
Tennessee. Yeah. They get it rolling again. Could be interesting if Julio and AJ Brown don't play.
Could be interesting.
It could be interesting because the Titans defense still doesn't do much. But
but the Jets Jets defense, is not terrible. They definitely got some pressure going this week against the Broncos. But are you gonna be able to tackle Derrick Henry?
No. And Marcus May, probably their best defensive player, is out. Which, hold on, we got to talk about that. Was it Melvin Gordon or Javonte Williams who just got absolutely murdered on the goal line?
Melvin Gordon took a shot on the 1 yard line.
Gosh, that was like one of the only plays I watched from that game. I'm like, holy shit. See, I remember CJ Mosley signed there like 3 years ago and hadn't done anything. I forgot he was still on that team. And then boom.
Oh yeah.
I think Broncos still scored a touchdown.
I think the next play, they got it in, I think. Yeah. But yeah, that was intense. Washington and Atlanta. I picked against Atlanta last week in a game they probably could have won, and against an NFC East opponent. So I'm not going to do that again, and I'm going to take Atlanta.
Yeah, I kind of like the Falcons here too. I don't
think either of these teams are good, but
yeah, I mean, Washington's defense hasn't done anything this year, so I think Matt Ryan could have a good game, and I think Calvin Ridley has seen enough targets for him to pop off at some point, and I think this is the game he does it.
This week, I think, has a lot of gross matchups. Not a lot. I'm like, I can't wait to watch that one. Not a lot of that, except this one. Can't wait for this one. Afternoon slate's very good. Arizona at the LA Rams. Give me the Rams, baby. Come on, you know it.
Yeah,
Matthew Stafford,
too.
MVP. Stafford,
Rams,
MVP.
Rams are looking amazing. I don't think anything's going to stop them. This is going to be a very good game. But I'm going with the Rams.
Fun game. See another, and division playing each other again. Seattle at San Francisco.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game too. Man, I'm probably going to regret it, but I'm going with the Seahawks. There's just I don't know. I think the Seahawks,
they have to win it. I think they need it more.
Yeah, and I think that's why they're going to win. Let Russ cook, man.
They need it more. I don't care. I'm going San Francisco. I hate the Seahawks. You know that. I hate the Seahawks.
Oh, dude, you're never going to pick the Seahawks.
No, never. I don't care. They could be playing Jacksonville, and we'll take Jacksonville. Baltimore, Denver. What do you think?
I think if Lamar plays, I think Baltimore's going to win this game. I mean, it'll be tough, and it's going to be a close game, I think, no matter what. But I don't know. Denver hasn't played a team like this yet, and they haven't played a guy on offense that's this dynamic. And I think Baltimore's defense is considerably better than the Giants and the Jags and the Jets. So I'll take Baltimore here if Lamar plays.
You know what I'm about to say.
Of course.
It's the Denver Broncos. It's the Denver Broncos, baby. I don't care. It's the Denver Broncos. The only thing that worries me is they have Justin Tucker.
That's true. You're betting against your boy, Craig.
I hate betting against my boy. I hate
That's
it.
fine. That's fine.
I gotta put the Justin Tucker signed football in the closet for this week. Can't look at it.
I think he would understand that, Craig.
So, but I think here's why I'm picking the Broncos. And I'm thinking it's a close game. I definitely don't think we're gonna be as dominant as
no.
As we were against those first three. This is a close game in my eyes. But Lamar is definitely a bit banged up. I think that's going to hurt his rushing ability and his passing ability, at least a little bit in both ways. I already think that they're not going to pass the ball well against this defense. This defense is too good against, like, you got to really be a
lot
top
of pressure too.
You got to be
a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
You got to be a top 5 quarterback to have a great stat line against this defense, I think.
Yeah.
So, and Lamar, great quarterback, absolutely great quarterback, mostly because he's such a dual threat. If you can stop him on the ground, which I think you'll be able to because of his injuries, I think you can do it. And Broncos are banged up as well. They lost KJ Hamler for the season, which sucks. That's a tough one.
You don't have a dude of his caliber to replace him.
You don't have Jerry Jeudy, but man, I love Cortland Sutton.
I love Tim Patrick.
I've
told you my Tim Patrick anecdote, right?
I don't think so.
When I was working security for the Broncos, I was on one of their hotel floors for preseason, and at like 1 a.m, Tim Patrick, he has like the room closest to where I'm sitting, comes out of his room, asks me if I can get him just a cup of honey. So I radio down, get him a cup of honey, and he daps me up. And that's my Tim Patrick story. So I've always liked Tim Patrick just because of that.
All right. I love it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, give me the Broncos. Pittsburgh, Green Bay. Pittsburgh has been too bad.
Yeah, I'm taking the Packers.
The game every single person can't wait for. Even I can't wait for this game, and I despise these men. I don't care. This is just going to be such a fun narrative. You can't be more excited than this. Tom Brady going back as a Buccaneer into New England.
Yeah. Gosh, living in Massachusetts for a year, I know kind of how those people operate and how all their personalities are. And I want so badly for all of that stadium to boo Tom Brady when he runs out on the field. And I'm not saying it's impossible.
You can't boo Tom Brady on that
field.
He
left them.
Don't care.
Left them.
When
I know.
Did he leave them or
possible?
I remember when Peyton Manning first went back to Indianapolis for his first game there, and the cheers were overwhelming. Now, granted, Peyton Manning did not leave the Colts. The Colts clearly left him.
And Midwest people are pretty nice.
But I also think it's not Tom. Tom Brady didn't leave because Tom Brady left because New England pushed him out, I think.
Exactly. That's why they might just
the organization. I think this is it's on the Patriots for the reason Tom Brady's not there. So
I just think it'd be hilarious if he runs out of that tunnel to get hyped and he's just met with a bunch of Boston people
that's true. Boston people are
insulting him. That's what I'm saying. I'm not putting it past them. He should get cheers. He's the best single player.
He's the reason that franchise is remembered.
Exactly. They were
nothing without him.
Terrible before Tom Brady started. They went to one Super Bowl and got absolutely smacked.
Right.
And that was it.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, I don't even want to talk about any of the storylines. That's going to get blown out of proportion. Buccaneers are the far better team. They're going to win this game.
Yep. Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
We've got Belichick's record against rookie quarterbacks is amazing. I don't know what Belichick's record is against 44-year-old several-time MVP quarterbacks.
I am interested to see what the defensive game plan is, because if there's any coach that knows Brady better, it's going to be Belichick.
If there's anybody who knows Belichick better, it's Brady.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see that chess match. But then on the other side of the ball, I think Mac Jones could just get murdered.
Yeah,
So
he could. Bucks defense is definitely struggling compared to last year, more so than people thought.
yeah.
But Mac Jones is going to struggle, I think.
Yeah.
And then Monday night, another great matchup: Vegas Chargers in LA.
Dude, I low key just need to flip a coin for this one because I really don't know. But I think I'm just gonna side with the Chargers. They're at home. It's Herbert's first time in prime time with a full house. I think they're gonna do well. It's gonna be another great game because Vegas is playing at a high level right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna lean Chargers. But it's a coin flip for me.
I agree. This is a close one. I'm going to lean Chargers as well, though. I like the Chargers, what they did. I'm not saying I don't like Vegas, but man, something about the Chargers. I'm not feeling good betting against them.
Also, I'd rather pick the Chargers and be wrong than pick the Raiders and be wrong.
Mm-hmm. True. Let's go to our bets this week. Man, I made two stupid bets. I was halfway right in my Dallas Philly under 52. I didn't think Philly would do very well. I was surprised at how well Dallas did against that Philly defense.
Yeah.
And then Washington plus 7.5. I don't know what I was on when I picked that. Never again. I think the other time I picked Washington was early on and then over, and I was wrong on that one. So I'm not gonna side with Washington for a while. In the end, I went 3-3. You went 3-2. We both hit our mortal locks. And
what's our record on those this year?
So we both missed our mortal locks week 1. So, but together we're 4-2 on mortal locks. We're overall this week we went 6-5 between the two of us, and our record overall for the whole year through 3 weeks through the month of September, we went 18-12.
Come on, man. That's pretty damn good, man.
That's money.
That's pretty damn good.
That is money.
And I like betting on all these games through PointsBet because they give you the no juice spread. So like more times than not, those spreads are just like 1-to-1 odds. So you just double your money on it.
Oh, nice.
Which I love.
Now, I love this board this week, especially on a couple games. I've got 2 bets on 2 games.
You sound like Big Cat every week, and then he goes 1-5.
I know. When I said that, because he said this last week and did terrible. But yeah. I don't care. I love this board for this week. I have 7 bets.
All right, you kick us off then.
How many you got? Just so I know.
I got 6. So
okay, yeah, 6. I'm gonna start. We're gonna start with Green Bay minus 6.5 versus Pittsburgh. Green Bay is looking unstoppable. Pittsburgh's defense looks a bit banged up. Big Ben can't do anything. It's in Green Bay. I think this is no contest. Green Bay minus 6.5.
Yeah, they should smoke them. My first one is Kansas City minus 7. I think they come out guns blazing. They're going to put up a lot of points. I don't know if the Eagles can match that. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it comes down to. I think this is another decent game to bet the over. It's at 54. I could easily see the Chiefs putting up 30, 40 points. Mm-hmm. But I'll take the points with Kansas City. Andy Reid revenge game. Well, Sean McCoy revenge game, sort of. He'll probably be in attendance because those are both his teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll go Chiefs.
I also have that. I'm just saying that as well. That's also one of my bets. I have Kansas City minus 7 at Philly. That's just too good. Give me another one.
I'm gonna go Tennessee Titans minus 6.5 at the New York Jets. I think if at least AJ Brown or Julio Jones plays, I'm very confident in that one. I mean, New York
Jets, right? Not Giants.
Yeah, Jets. The Jets. I don't see a scenario where the Titans win and it's not by a touchdown. Mm-hmm. Right. Which, it could very well be a trap game. I didn't have my trap game of the week, but I feel like this could be the trap game of the week. However, I think Tennessee's figured it out. Derrick Henry is just going to run the ball down their throat. And I mean, we saw Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams both had a decent amount of success against the Jets last week.
Yeah, and the New York Jets, they 0 points last week, 6 points the week before, 14 points in week 1.
Exactly.
And I think I want to say those 14 points might have all came in the first half or something.
Yeah.
So they put like
would it be
points up.
would it be safe to say the Titans can put up at least 20 points?
Right.
Probably. I think that'll be more than enough to cover the spread.
And let's see. I think it has to be the under has to hit in all of these Jets game, and the over-under's at 45. You know what? I'm adding another bet. I'm adding another bet. I don't care. I'm doing it right now. I'm adding Titans Jets under 45.
Yeah.
And there's what is that? My 8th? Don't care. Tennessee, New York Jets under 45. It's happening. Count it. Jets have hit the under every time. I don't know if Tennessee will be without AJ Brown and Julio Jones. I think they'll be without one of them. And I think they're going to rely on that run game, and that just makes the clock go faster.
Yep.
So Tennessee Jets under 45. Okay. I'll go another one then, since I just threw that out there. And I have two bets on this game. I have Detroit +3 at Chicago. And I have the under 42.
Yeah.
I don't think you're right. Jared Goff is not very good against the Bears defense. And after what I saw from Justin Fields, I don't like it. So Detroit, Chicago under 42, Detroit +3.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the under for that game. I think it'll be ugly no matter what. Even if, let's say, the Bears offense goes off, I don't think the Lions offense is going to go crazy. Like if you had to pick one of the teams to like score like close to 30, it would, even though the Bears sucked last week, it would still probably be them, just because I don't think Jared Goff is capable of putting up that many points against this defense that still gives him nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that bet. All right, my next one, I'm gonna go Cowboys -4 at home against Carolina.
Okay.
Without Christian McCaffrey, I think this line is too low. I think this should be closer to a touchdown. So I see a lot of value there.
I like that.
Pretty
I didn't
simple.
think about that one. Nice.
Yeah. What, you gonna add that one too?
No,
it seems like half of your picks are like, oh, Alex, you kind of made a good point about that.
But I'm not taking Tennessee -6.5. That's what your bet was. I took Tennessee New York Jets under 45.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying
I bet on your
same line of reasoning.
Unless I really hate your pick, I bet on your picks too.
Hey, well, it's working so far.
I think I've bet on every single one of your picks except, I think like week 1 you picked like Washington money line, and I didn't do that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, I pretty much pick your bets. So I think that's a good one. Give me another one, because I'm in 2 in a row because I have 2 from the same game.
Let's go. If Lamar Jackson plays, I'm going Ravens money line. You're giving me the Ravens at plus money, playing against a team who has their only wins have arguably come against the 3 worst teams in football. So I still don't know how the Ravens are underdogs in this game, but I'll take their money line all day just because of the value there.
I'm not going to follow that bet this week. Yeah, that one's not. Yeah, that's not
fine.
happening.
But you see the value, right? You're getting the Ravens at plus money.
Yeah,
easily take that. And on the same coin, if the Broncos were underdogs, I would probably take the Broncos to cover the spread. Okay. But Broncos being favored in this game, you're getting the Ravens, who just came off a very emotional game. The Broncos are riding high, but haven't played an opponent like this all year. I just like the value of that pick.
Okay. All right. I have 2 picks from the Tampa Bay New England game. I've got Tampa Bay -6.5. I think they're just that much better. And I don't think Mac Jones is going to do well. Tom Brady is the king of getting revenge. And this would be the only team Tom Brady's never beat, right?
Correct.
Has to be. So come on, he wants this more. I don't even think it's close. And I'm also going to take the under 49. I got 3 unders this week. I also think New England's not going to be able to score. And while I think Tom Brady's going to put up some points, I think 49 is too high.
Yeah. All right. My last 2 picks, like we were talking about before the show, I have gone back and forth because I love both of these total bets.
Okay.
I think the one that I won't go as my mortal lock is going to be Pittsburgh Green Bay over 45.5.
Okay.
I only say that because I might not be convinced Pittsburgh can put up like 17 points. That's all they need to do in this game is put up 17 points. And I think the over hits pretty convincingly because the Packers will score 30.
Oh yeah. What did you say it was? 44.5?
45.5.
45
so,
and a half. Okay. I like that.
I like it. I think the Packers are going to go off. Also, their defense still isn't great, as we talked about. And I think they've struggled to stop the run a little bit. Najee Harris, I think, will have another good game. And it's always fun to watch Aaron Rodgers and root for points because usually good things happen when you root for points with that offense. So, yeah, I'll take the over there. And just know that was close to being my mortal lock. It was close. So I do feel very confident about it.
Okay. These last 2 weeks in a row, I went with my mortal lock, Denver -6 at Jacksonville, Denver -10.5 versus the Jets. 2 weeks in a row, I was right. I'm not touching that this time. No, I'm staying away from the Denver Rams game, but I wanted to make you think I was doing that.
Ravens. You said that like 3 times tonight. You're just Stafford's on your mind, man.
Because he's the MVP. He's the MVP.
So what is this, your mortal lock now?
This is my lock.
All right, let's hear it. I'm excited for this.
And I've had 3 unders so far. I'm going with an over.
Yes, sir. We love overs.
I'm going with Vegas Chargers over 52.
Nice. Oh, I love that. I love that pick. It's only at 52.
It's at 52. I think that is obvious. There's another one I really like. You're giving that as you don't want to take that as well?
I didn't realize the total was that low. I'll absolutely take the over for that. Yeah, throw that one for me too.
Okay, all right. You got it. You got 7 picks right now. And there's another over I like. I don't know if I can. It's not a mortal lock, but there's another one I kind of like. The Cardinals Rams is over 54.5.
Yeah.
No, I cannot do it. That division, I remember games. I think it was LA and Cardinals a couple of years ago when both had good offenses, and it was like 9-6. No, I'm not touching that over. I lied. I'm not doing it. Give me your mortal lock though.
This one I feel very, very good about. It isn't under.
Okay.
But I am going under 52 Cleveland at Minnesota.
Ooh, okay.
Now, I know both these teams can put up points. However, I think just because of who the head coach is, both these teams have the same style of offense. Kevin Stefanski ran it in Minnesota. They pretty much still run it. And now he's running it in Cleveland. What do they focus on? Dominating the time of possession, long drives, and running the football down your throat until you break, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if both teams do that, and both teams don't really turn the ball over that much, we're going to have long, sustained drives. And I feel like it's not going to lead to a lot of points. Like Cleveland can get an 8-minute drive that ends in a touchdown. There's going to be one of those 8-minute drives that ends in a field goal. I think it's just going to be a lot of long drives and you're not going to see a ton of points scored. However, Minnesota could always go pass heavy. Cleveland could always go pass heavy, which does scare me a little bit. And I would like this total to be more at 53, 54 to feel absolutely certain.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's like a mirror game. So I could see the final score being, if I had to pick a final score, it'd be like 24-20 Cleveland, and that hits the under by a touchdown. And I think that's like a high scoring game for me.
Okay.
So
I like that.
I like it.
Didn't think of that. I like that. I do like that. All right. So you got 7 picks. You've got Kansas City -7 at Philly, Tennessee -6.5 at the Jets, Dallas -4 at Carolina, Baltimore money line versus Denver, Green Bay, Pittsburgh over 45.5, and then you took Vegas Chargers over 52.
Yeah. Gosh, that total's way too low still. That's the same total as the Vikings Browns. That blows my mind.
Yeah, I agree. Meanwhile, my moral lock, Vegas Chargers over 52. It's way too obvious. It's a Monday night primetime game. You know, both these teams love to go for it in Monday night and a big primetime game. It's happening.
Also,
over 52.
overs in primetime games this year. Before this week, 8-1.
Yeah, I think that's including this week, right? Including this week, it's 8-1, right?
No, because this one hasn't happened yet.
I'm sorry,
saying
I thought you meant this last. I'm pretty sure the first 2 weeks it was 6-0, right?
Yeah.
And then this last week it was 2-1. Yeah, primetime overs are insane right now. All right, we got Vegas Chargers over 52. I also took Kansas City -7, Tampa Bay New England under 49, Tampa Bay -6.5, Detroit +3, Detroit Chicago under 42, Green Bay -6.5, Pittsburgh, and then the one I added, Tennessee New York Jets under 45. Yeah, I like it. I love these picks. I'm going 8-0. 8-0. You heard it here. 8-0.
I won't say I'm going to go 7-0. I will.
No,
just
you're
say
going
I feel
6-1. You're going 6-1. You picked money. You picked Ravens money line. You're going
You
six,
just know
you're going
I'm not
6-1.
even like rooting for the Ravens. I would love if the Broncos won that game, but
You're going 6-1.
I think all of my picks. I've become a smarter better this year. I think I'm no longer going with my heart. I'm going for what I think is good value, and like Dave Portnoy says, I'm just seeing the board clear now. Man in the suit game. I'm seeing the board.
He's not done well the last week though.
No, we need to start being Stu Finer. I need to start screaming about random shit.
Well, if you want to hear me screaming
the Vegas
about
Raiders will win this game.
Screaming about randomness, Matthew Stafford, MVP. One of the things he was plus 1,600 when I made that prediction about 6 weeks ago. He's plus 800, number 2.
I might have to throw a little. Still plus 800, still good value. That's going to be the best it's going to be. I'll throw a little.
It's not getting better than that. You might want to wait till after this week. It's possible they lose Cardinals. I don't think they will. It's possible. And, then Kyler Murray's number is going to go down because he's right now number 1. I want to say at like plus 500, maybe plus 600. They win this week. Kyler Murray will probably go to plus 300.
Yeah, low key, I might just bet on whoever loses this game to win.
Whoever loses this game wins the MVP.
It might be because their value would be better at that point. Yeah,
it's going to be, I think, one of these two. I really think this is the MVP matchup. I mean, last year at this time, we were all thinking Russell Wilson would be MVP, and that didn't happen.
True.
So anything could happen. But Matthew Stafford, MVP, 8-0. Broncos are beating the Ravens. It's happening. Peace out. We'll see you next week.
Peace.